Hello, Rebecca, and thank you for letting us interviewing you. I hope you are doing well.
Yes, I'm very well. Very happy to be here.
Thank you very much. We have a few questions that we'd like to ask you, and some are pretty basic, and some others are more atypical because we wanted to do an interesting interview for us and for you and for the public.
Yes.
My first question is actually really basic, but do you actually play a bit of Magic the Gathering?
Well, that is a good question, and people often want to know if I do. Way back when I got hired to do the Magic graphic novels, which was what brought me into the game, they flew me to Seattle, and I met the whole creative team, and they taught me how to play Magic. And so we spent the afternoon playing Magic, and me learning how to play the game and understand what it was and how it ran. And I thought it was a great strategy game.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't currently play Magic, but it's not because I don't. I do like it. I don't game. So I just draw. Yeah. I just spend all my time painting and drawing, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, and when I'm like for relaxation or something else, I dance and I have other things that I unwind with. But I was always the kid growing up who hung out with friends who played Dungeons and Dragons, and I drew their characters.
Really good game.
Okay, so you weren't drawn into Magic the Gathering drawing by accident.
Yeah, it was fantasy. Fantasy gaming is part of the culture I grew up in and enjoyed, along with comics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in that regard, is there any card that you would have liked to draw on yourself, or that you would like to draw if it was reprinted?
If it was reprinted, I think that I would really like a second crack at Dark Ritual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
another one.
yeah, a different version. Just like when I got the art notes on the first version, I felt like I was reaching a bit out of my comfort zone. And the art director gave me a sort of dark card with that description, but I think I would have more fun knowing how to play with what I'm very good at now. Better. Okay. And I was so young when I did it. I was in my 20s, and I think I knew myself less well as an artist, and I know myself very well now, and I know what I do very well, and I could have made even more fun. I could have had even more fun with the prompt.
So you have already new idea if you draw it now?
I have a bunch of ideas that I can do.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun, actually, because a lot of people actually really love this drawing and this card.
Which I'm very happy about. It makes me happy that they like it. I'm very happy. Yeah. And I don't think it's a bad drawing. I just think there are things I could do now that I didn't do.
Yeah, because I don't think you did any bad drawings regarding MTG.
You always try your best to give what you can do in the moment. I think they're good paintings. It's just,
And do you draw for other fantasy games or environments?
Rarely anymore. In terms of commercial work, Magic is the only company I tend to work with. And it's only because of my feeling about how important the game has been in my kind of life as an artist. I left doing all commercial work back in 2011 to just do gallery work. So I've been just doing gallery work for over a decade.
Oh,
so my own paintings, my own work.
For yourself?
Yes. And selling that and showing in New York and LA and various galleries. And that's what I do primarily. I don't do commercial work anymore, except certain art directors for Magic.
So we're all privileged people.
Well, because I feel privileged to have been part of it, and I understand that this is a special thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are there type of cards that you like to draw more than others?
Yeah.
What
Absolutely. I like women characters. I like things that have to do with romance and sort of a strong feeling, something that I can attach to a feeling. I don't tend to like to do big cards that have to do with sort of something. If I can't find some emotion to connect to, I don't want to take on the assignment because I won't do a good job with it.
So you already refused some cards?
Oh, sure, I refuse cards.
Okay.
Okay.
And what you say is actually interesting, because the first card I think about when I hear your name are either this one, Gaia's Blessing, which I think relates to
Very
everything
gentle.
that you just said, and another one that is one of my favorites for a lot of reasons, which is this one, which also I
people
think
love that one too.
relates to really calm and serenity feeling.
Right, yeah.
And are there maybe regrets you have about some cards? You talked to us about the Dark Ritual one, maybe that you would like to redo. But in
it's not
hindsight,
really...
maybe some cards that you would like to have done otherwise?
There were a few cards that I took on early on, and again, it's out of the feeling that, like, when you're a young artist and you're particularly getting your name known, you don't say no to any projects. You say no to all you say yes to everything, and you work to get your work out there. And some cards that I took on when I was in my 20s, again, it was a situation where I was like going to try my best to give it what I could, and I was starting out as an artist. And magic isn't the only situation. I took on book covers that I didn't know whether or not they were right for me, but it was more important to get the work out into the world and take the work and see what you can do. And so I wouldn't say it would be magic specific. I would say that there have been many projects early in my 20s that I took on that either I could do much better now, or I would understand that I should say no.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it is fun because Scott M. Fischer said about the same thing that you just did. And I heard a lot of artists talking about their careers that said almost the same thing as you did.
Yeah.
So I think it's maybe something
it's a common
shared.
thread.
Yeah.
It is.
And regarding magic, do you have any maybe some anecdotes regarding a card? Maybe something that was commissioned, a creature that was supposed to have flying, and like 2 days before the deadline, people said to you, "No, actually, the end creature doesn't have flying." So
do I have any funny war stories? Yeah. Let me think. Well, I think that one of the things that I feel like that I have done best is when I've read the prompt, discarded it in my head, and done something that I knew would make people fall in love with the feeling of it, and taken the risk of putting it out there to the art director. And then sometimes the art director is like, "We absolutely love this, we're going to use it." And the funny part is that, like, occasionally I did that a few times, and the art director who had commissioned me was very happy with the card. But then a new art director would come back and look at the original prompts and be like,
"That's not at all."
Why is this girl lying in the woods? And I'm like, well,
do you have an example?
It got approved,
Do you have maybe a card example?
Seed Time.
Seed Time.
I don't actually remember what the original prompt was for Seed Time.
This card, yes. I found it absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. I don't even remember what the prompt was, but I was like, I'm just going to try this.
And you remember the person
and the art director was like, "We love it. We're going to use this." And then the next art director was like, "Why? What?" But it was like the next year, And so I was like, "But I've got proof, like you wanted it then." So.
And it fits the feeling of the card perfectly, in my opinion.
Well, it works now, like everybody's used to that.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah. But I think that that's about as that's as close as I would have to anything that would be like.
Well, that's
I don't
really
have too many. Largely, working with magic is is pretty good. They're great. They're good company, and they care a lot about the game and the fans. And I truly and the artists and the identity of the artist. I mean, the reason people know who I am at this level is because Magic printed the name on the bottom of the card in the 90s.
True.
I mean, I had a track. I was getting well known in comics. When I started doing work for Magic, and I would have had like a nice career in comics, but it wouldn't be the same. People know my work internationally because of Magic's commitment to put the names on the bottom of the card. It's very important. A lot of artists have had the same experience. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have in your artwork in Magic the Gathering some art that was really strongly inspired by other artists' existing artwork? For instance, Scott M. Fischer told us, we talked about the wave, the Great Wave of Hokusai.
Right. Hokusai is amazing. He's a huge influence on everybody.
I thought about Klimt and...
For sure. The Vienna Secession and Klimt and the turn of the century painters of European painters and the symbolists.
Mucha
and Ischela and Bonnard and Maxence and, I love Rose O'Neill, and I love that turn of the century among both work done within illustration and kind of classic children's books like Arthur Rackham and Edmund Dulac, as well as what was going on with the European kind of symbolist movement, Burne-Jones, and there was such exciting stuff happening, and that stuff is definitely an influence, had been an influence on me. Now I like to think that, and clearly, and really early on in my 20s too, you can see more of it in the work.
Okay.
As I like to feel like, as the work I do now speaks to very much my own voice, and people can see notes of things, as with all artists throughout time. You look and you see the influence of the Renaissance painters and among each other. When you go to see, first Michelangelo did this thing, and then somebody else picked up that thing that he was doing and put it in their work, and and so like everybody is constantly influenced by each other. But I do like to think that when we're young, we're much more of a student of influence, and then when we become more mature in our work, we have fully developed our own voice.
And we blend all these influences with our
own
voices.
heart, our own voice, our own hand. Yeah.
That speaks to me.
Yeah.
And so you don't have any particular magic card that was maybe a clin d'oeil, a reference?
Yeah, well,
to
really
a
early on,
painting?
there's a bunch that I was looking hard at Mucha and Klimt, and absolutely, without a doubt, there's in my 20s, the ones in my early 20s, that would have been what was it? It wasn't Mercadian Masks. It wasn't Alliance.
94, 93?
Well, I started, my first set was 95. It came out, Alliances. And then there were a couple that I did that were very Mucha based, because I'd just seen a big Mucha exhibit in Worcester, Massachusetts in the mid-90s. It was like 97, maybe 98. And I was like, Mucha drawings, great. And so there are a few, and you can certainly see them.
Okay, so I was actually right
in
what I felt in your drawing.
Absolutely.
These are people that I really look up to also. So.
And I've directly quoted Klimt in a few little homages to things.
Do you have any maybe
on.
Card name to give us? That's fun, but Gaia's blessing.
Okay, well,
for me,
Italia Samite Masters, very, very Mucha. Yeah.
Oh yes, obviously,
yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually,
that's probably the most Klimt influenced. Yeah.
And regarding art in general, do you have a favorite painting of yours? Maybe regarding magic or other? Is there a work way?
All your new bodies of work become your favorites. When you've discovered something new about what you want to say as an artist, or you've reached a new plateau of something that feels really true. Those become your current loves. And then you carry a lot of love for the past work, for what it meant in that moment. But it evolves, and different paintings mean different things. So I think people ask me all the time whether or not I have a favorite magic card. I don't have one favorite magic card. I mean, I have favorites for different feelings, like of the older work. I often, refer to things like channel or dwell on the past, or I always thought regenerate was so sweet. That was one of my favorite, like, very romantic cards.
Still this love theme.
Very much
that
full of love.
transpires.
And that, like, it's like, and that very kind of visceral, meaningful love that isn't just isn't just a pretty moment, but a heartfelt moment that has some rawness to it, some, like, gravity. Yeah. But then, I loved doing the artist series that Tom Jenkott brought me back for. And the new Bitter Blossom speaks to I put all of my love for my kid in that, and, like, being a mother and caring, and motherhood and nurturing, and nurturing a very wild child. I have this really wild and incredible kid who's also an artist and now at art school. Well, not that one, it's the Bitter Blossom
This
Warden.
is the original? No.
I'm not as attached to the original as I am to the new one. Loved it.
It is...
Yeah, there it is.
It's Bitter Bear. Okay.
Bitter Blossom Bear. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So
Really nice card.
That was really, I loved doing that. Yeah.
And regarding art in general, are there any art pieces that are most influential, or maybe your favorite, not maybe related to pictures, it might also be music, cinema, video games, whatever art form do you like more? Is there something in particular that rings your bell?
Well, if I was to pick something separate from painting, which I seek out frequently, and I love going to museums, and we just saw the municipal museum here in Toulouse is fabulous. Like the one of the major painting collections right in downtown is incredible. It's so good. But I gravitate deeply to ballet. Like I still dance myself. I go to ballet. I use it all the time in my work and my influence as choreographers that I really, really love. The attention to small moments, the like small and meaningful, like just the body awareness in ballet speaks to me as an artist, and how I want to draw attention to very specific moments within a painting. It's all the ballet.
Which makes sense regarding your artwork and the elegance and subtlety that transpires through it.
Right.
It makes perfect sense.
Right. Yeah.
To end this interview, Bastien had some more quirky questions to ask to you.
So I have some questions for you. The first one, if your artistic style was a color of magic, or a colorless one maybe, which one would it be?
Well, my personal artistic style, not what I do for magic, but maybe what I do for gallery work, would probably be red and black. I mean, like
red and black. So one.
but like a saucy romantic version of it.
Okay. So no white for the love.
White. Perhaps some white in there too. But it probably wouldn't be green and it probably wouldn't be blue, which is I have a lot of green and blue cards. Because I don't do too many elves and fairies and things like that in my personal work. So I can wear that mantle and get into that subject when I do magic, but when I do my gallery work, things are sometimes very romantic, but they're also very chaotic, and they hit more than one. Like, it's not like when you do something for a client, even a client as great as magic, you're in a collaborative process where you have to respect what's happening in the game. You can't go off the rails with some sort of like feeling that you might have about pushing your own narrative or culture or any. You have to respect the collaborative process of what the game is, who it's for, and who's going to have it in their lives and how that works. So, I mean, I think for the game, the people, if the color that people most associate with me would be probably green and white and blue, right? Wouldn't you guys say that's the case?
Yes, I plead guilty.
Yeah.
Maybe don't, yes. But so for yourself, it's Rakdos. It's black and red for yourself.
It's more in the emotional and...
A little more dark, and definitely some darkness.
Okay.
Like, there's a lot more dark feelings I engage with in my personal work.
Hence the new edition of Dark Ritual, maybe? Sometime.
Yes, I mean, yeah, although I don't know. Like, I think I'd probably find the romance in it even still, but it's more like, I think there's more complicated and interesting things I could put into a painting now with that. Yeah.
Okay. So in your artwork, are there any Easter eggs in your arts? Like maybe friend of yours you draw in the art, maybe family member, maybe cat or dog, I don't know.
Well, the new Bitter Blossom bearer, I used my kid's face for the main character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a last question before. You draw the playmat for the Relic Fest.
This
was
the
this
full playmat.
Yeah, the full playmat.
Yeah.
Did you get a prompt from Relic?
No. I offered them a piece. This is, to be totally, and they know this too. This is a piece I did way back in 1997 that has rarely been used for anything. It was in a Dragon magazine, very limited run of an article on elven gods, and it's just rarely produced. So I let them hold the license for this playmat. So
okay. And to end, I have a secret question for you that your husband found. It's pretty hard question. I didn't expect that. Other was maybe easier to answer, but the question is, what is the power of illustration?
Oh, the power of illustration. That's a very good question, actually. And I think the power of illustration is that it's heartfelt art that's accessible to everyone. The accessibility of illustration can bring really beautiful, powerful works to people sitting at their kitchen table or hanging out with friends in home environments, or it's not like you don't have to go to a museum. You don't have to take a class. You don't have to. It's accessible. It's meant to be understood. It's not meant to be difficult to understand. It's meant to give a beautiful emotional experience that anybody can have access to. It's for the people, and I love that part. I love it. I love that people, and especially you can see how the power of illustration exists within the game of Magic too, and how much people deeply love the art. Like they really love, and it's giving another layer of experience to people's lives, and as they grow up too. Like I had a gallery curator who was with me in my studio not long ago, working in a New York gallery, and he said, I grew up on your work in Magic, and my idea of what fantasy was informed by what you gave to the genre. Now that's a gift that illustration has that often you don't have if you're just working in sort of isolated gallery world stuff. Illustration reaches many people, and it's such a powerful thing.
Well, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
What an answer.
No, but that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And I know actually, a lot of people that don't really frequent museum, etc., but are really sensible to art, thanks to art forms like comic books, as you told beforehand.
Great comic books.
I myself grew with a lot of French and Belgian comics. Yes.
And Bilal and Mobius and
Or even
Jean Giraud.
one of my favorite when I was growing up was Blake and Mortimer from Edward K. Jacobs. The clear line style of illustration.
Not as familiar, but I do know. I knew Jacques Tardy and Hugo Pratt and there's so many Belgian comics, and the French comic scene is incredible. I mean, there's a gallery I work with in New York now, is a French gallerist who comes from comics, and the reason he likes my work is because I have that history, even though he's showing my non-comic work and non-illustration work. So but Belgian comics.
It's actually pretty fun that people that started drawing, I'm not talking necessarily about you, but starting drawing for comics end up in museums.
Yes, and that's happening now, and I'm very happy.
It's
great. It's really great.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Comics is getting a recognition that I think eventually will also happen within science fiction fantasy.
Yeah.
It's it's like the long progression from modern art, accepting popular arts into the conversation of the modern art, kind of the big modern art idea.
Yeah. That is sometimes frowned upon. I think
it was for a long time.
Video games, for instance, that for a long time was considered as a hobby, and more is considered as a form of art, such as cinema, for instance.
Yes, and the translation from video games, that it can be that strong a story, that it can go to The Last of Us and other things and become something like
that really makes you feel something and live something.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Do you have maybe any last words that you would like to share with us?
Not too many. I feel like we touched on a lot of things that are really important about the game and how much I care about it. And I just sort of always end in any interview I do with Magic with my gratitude that I feel, that what it's given my life, and sort of the amount of people who know my work, because somebody cared enough to put an unusual vision within a science fiction realm, and people responded to it and still like it. That's just really, like, I have this just real grateful. I'm really grateful for it. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much. We are grateful for your time.
Thank you, yes.
And I hope you will have a nice rest of the week with us. And see you next time.
Yes, thank you. Bye.